Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're doing a full review on the Hourglass Vanish Seamless Finish Liquid Foundation. I think I said that right. And because there's just been a lot of talk about it and I haven't really heard a lot of people with oily skin review it, so I wanted to go ahead and give you my thoughts and how to use it, because based on what Hourglass tells you how to use it, I'm using it the exact same way. And yeah, if you want to see a full review on that, plus this little get ready with me natural kind of fresh everyday look, go ahead and keep watching. And before you do that, just go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you're always up to date on my videos and you can just see everything that's coming out, and hit the notification bell as well so you're always notified when one comes out. And yeah, if you want to go ahead and also follow me on Instagram, my username is It's Alejandra Castro. And I think that's it. So let's go ahead and get started. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we are doing a review on the Hourglass foundation. I put up a little mini tutorial on my Instagram stories and everyone wanted to see a full review and tutorial on how to use it. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that for you guys. And the first thing, and it's also gonna be like a little get ready with me. So the first thing I did was already just kind of put a moisturizer on my face, because with this foundation you don't really need a primer, and I tried it with a primer and without a primer and it looks really great. And I've been trying to use just this like moisturizer slash primer type thing that a lot of makeup celebrity artists do, and I absolutely love it. So it's this Embryolisse. It's all in like, I don't know how to say it, Latte Creme Concentrate something. It's this one. And it just feels really good on the skin. It feels very silky and smooth and very hydrating. So that's why my face is kind of like shiny right now. But I actually like it. So next what I'm going to do is take the Vanish Seamless Finish Liquid Foundation by Hourglass. And I have the shade Buff. And I'm just going to do half a pump. I've seen a lot of people review it, and they use like a whole pump or 2 pumps because they think they actually need to, and you really don't. And then people start complaining that it's like cakey or it's too much, and it's probably because you use too much, honestly. So I'm going to do half a pump and I will show you guys. Half. So it looks like that, barely anything, but you really don't need a lot. And then I'm taking the Sonia Kashuk Blend and Buff foundation, and it's just this really pretty dense foundation brush, which I really like. I've been using it. But first, I'm going to dot this all over the face, which is what they say to do, and then just kind of dot it a little bit more wherever you have like problem areas or you want more coverage. So let me go ahead and do that. And I have, of course, my big ass mirror because I can't find my small one. So right here I have scarring, so I'm going to put a good amount there, right here, right there where I'm breaking out a little bit, but it's kind of going away. And then the rest of the areas you just, you know, dot around. And this is really concentrated, so you really don't need a lot. Because if you do put a lot, you will look cakey. And coming from me, where I have acne scars and all that stuff, and things that I really like to cover up, that's saying something. And then if I need more in certain areas, I can always just dot a little bit. So that's how it looks for right now. And now I'm just gonna buff that out. And you kind of do want to be quick whenever you start blending it out. Don't take too long. I took a little bit too long when I did my little mini tutorial, and I was able to blend it out fine, but it was a little bit harder to blend, so. And there's just like a tiny bit left on that little clear thing, so I'm just gonna rub that down my neck and blend it out. All right, I'm trying to play with the lighting to make it, you know, as bright as I can without being overly bright. So if you see it like overexposed, I'm sorry, I'm still playing around with it. But as you can see, this is such full coverage, and I only used half a pump, and I just dotted it where I needed it. Like, you really don't need a lot, because if you do use a lot, like I said, you will look a little bit more cakey. Moving on. So I just, you know, brightened up my under eye area using the Becca Under Eye Brightener Corrector, yeah, in the shade medium to deep. It's my go-to. I've talked about it so many times. And now we're going to go ahead and contour and highlight, and I'm just using the products I've been using pretty recently for pretty much every day. So I'm going to be taking the L'Oreal Infallible Full Wear concealer in the shade Chestnut. It is the number 425. and I'm going to be using that to contour my face. I have to be real careful. I put so much on it the other day, and I fixed it, but you know, you just got to be careful with this because it's so pigmented. That's all I'm putting because that's might be a little much. I'm kind of just patting it in. I'm not, you know, rubbing it around. I'm just pressing it into the skin and blending it out and upwards. Really making sure it gets into my hairline and over there by my ear. I really love this concealer. It's so nice and pigmented. It's really crazy how pigmented it is for being just drugstore. Like this, I know everyone compares everything to the Tarte Shape Tape, but I feel like this is exactly the same as the Tarte Shape Tape. The best coverage. It's kind of dry like the Shape Tape too. I'm so shiny, I feel like that's throwing off the lighting on me. But anyways, let's get moving on. So now for my concealer and my highlight, I'm going to be using the L'Oreal Paris same concealer in the shade Cashew, and this is the number 365. And it's just a very good color for me. It's a little close to my actual skin tone, so it's not super brightening. I don't go for that anymore. I do brighten it up a little bit, but not, you know, insane amount. And then I'm just taking my brush, blending that out. Forgot to contour my nose. I'll do that in a second. So I know I look like super oily and like dewy right now, but that is because of the moisturizer. It's not from the foundation. The foundation that is actually pretty, it's not matte, but it's like velvety. Skin-like on your skin whenever you put it on. The dewiness you're seeing is from the moisturizer, but once I set everything, it does look matte and it looks good for my oily face. So don't worry if you have oily skin just like me, because I like it how it turns out. So I know you see all this and might be worried. I'm just gonna quickly contour my nose real quick. All right, so now that's good, and I could have used actually less just because this is already, it's just so pigmented, it's crazy. And now I'm going to highlight my nose with the same color and also do a little bit of my forehead. Straight down. And then I'm just blending everything together so there's no harsh lines. And to just brighten it up a little bit more, I'm going to go ahead and take the shade Cashmere, number 360, in the concealer as well, just to brighten up a little bit more right there. Right there, right here, that's it. I think we're good like that. Alright, so now to set my highlight and just kind of like the rest of my face, I'm also going to be using the Nye Translucent powder in the shade Fair. And I've been using this for a while now, at least a couple of weeks. I really like it. First, I'm going to make sure everything's blended out because I always get a little bit of creasing in my under eye area. And I don't like really have to set this, but because I go for a little bit more of a matte velvety finish, I like to set everything just to keep it in place and help my skin, my foundation last longer on my oily skin. And I put it also over my contour as well to set it because I don't really need to set it with a bronzer or anything because it's already so pigmented. Like that. And while I'm at it, I'm just going to blend out the concealer I put on my lid. And then I'm going to set that with whatever powder's left. So it's good to go whenever I do my eyeshadow. Alright, so everything's pretty much set. I went ahead and did my eyebrows because that's pretty much, you know, my usual routine. And if you want to see a tutorial on how I get these eyebrows, we'll link it down below because there's a tutorial on it. Alrighty, so next I'm going to go ahead and do my eyes, and it's going to be pretty simple. Just because that's how I roll these days. So I'm taking the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer in the shade, I don't know, I think it's the lighter shade of the bronzer. Alright, so I'm just taking a fluffy little blending brush from Morphe, and I'm going to use that to, well, I'm going to use it as an eyeshadow. I'm just going to place it in the crease of my eye. This is pretty much going to be my all over eyeshadow color. And then I'm taking the Hourglass Scattered Light Glitter eyeshadow in the shade Reflect, which is just such a pretty, like, rosy, champagne-y kind of color. Perfect for every day. And I'm just using my finger to apply that. Just adds a little bit of something to the eye. It makes it look nice and, like, glossy and wet. And I'm into that right now. I'm pretty much putting it all over too. And then I'm taking that same little blending brush that I have and kind of just squeezing it a little bit to make it more thin. And I'm going to use it for the waterline because I'm a little bit lazy and I don't feel like getting the actual brush I use. So, you know, multi-purpose brush here. And now I'm going to go ahead and just do the rest of my face and then I'll put mascara on afterwards. But for my highlight, I'm using the Dior Luminizer in the shade Nude. And it's just a really pretty, like, champagne-y kind of color, not too like gold or silvery or anything like that. It's just like the perfect in-between. And I'm just going to use that and this little blend, or not this little highlight brush from Morphe. I'm going to put that on the tops of my cheeks. And then for my blush, I'm going to be using the Morphe Cool Pro palette, or blush palette. It is the 8C. And I'm going to go with this rosier kind of shade right here. I don't think you can, there you go. That kind of color right there. It's not too pink. It's very warm. I love it. Usually I've been really using the NARS Liquid Orgasm blush because it's just so pretty, such a nice pink that just makes you look youthful. But I feel like these shades in here also have like the same kind of pink tones that really help you look nice and flushed. Alright, so I put my mascara on and all that's pretty much left to do is the lips. And for my lip liner, I'm going to be using the Makeup Forever Artist Color Pencil in the shade Up and Down Tan. It looks like this. Super pretty. And where's my... So it's like a nice, pretty, like warm toned rose color. And then I'm going to be taking the L'Oreal Color Riche Shine lipstick in the shade 906. It is called Burnished Blush, which is really, really pretty, just like nice rosy tone color. And it's more sheer, so I really like that. I'm really into sheer looking colors. I'm just going to put that on. So it has that like really pretty pink color to it, but it's not like too pinky. It's very nice and rosy, more natural looking, and I absolutely love this color. I used a different color in my my mini tutorial on Instagram stories, but I tried a different color today and I really, really like it. So I'm just gonna make sure it's nice and lined. Alright guys, so this is the finished look of the foundation, the get ready with me, everything. This is kind of like one of my go-to looks for an everyday, just fresh looking face. It's not too much. So yeah, final thoughts on the Hourglass foundation so far, because I have worn it a few times and I love how it wears, I love how it looks, I love that it's full coverage, but you don't need a lot of foundation just caked onto your face. It's really, really great that you only need half a pump to get this flawless kind of finish. That means it looks nice, but it doesn't feel heavy. It wears nice. It's very velvety, skin-like finish, which I love. I love also that it really matches my skin tone. The tones are really great in this foundation. And yeah, it's not like a super glowy or dewy foundation. It's also not a very matte foundation. It's in between, so it's going to work with a whole bunch of different skin types and skin tones. So I really love this. I'm going to go ahead and try and do a wear test for you guys, and I'll insert some clips so you can see how it wore throughout the day and all that jazz. So yeah, my final thoughts, I really love this foundation. It's definitely worth the buy to me because you need so little to get good coverage. I know it's pricey, it's like $50-something, but it is worth it to me whenever you're getting pretty much double the amount because you only have to use so little. So it's going to last you a long time. But yeah, everything I used will be linked down below. Remember to hit like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I will see you guys next time. Alright guys, so it is 11 o'clock right now, and I put on my foundation and all that like around 8, well like 7:30. actually is probably when I put my foundation on. And I popped on some lashes, and I know they're like kind of big and fluffy, but I don't know how I feel about them. I wanted to try them out because they're brand new and someone sent them to me, and I wanted to see how they felt. They're actually pretty light. But anyways, back to the foundation. So it's wearing pretty freaking good, and I was kind of getting hot right now, but it still looks pretty good, I think. So let's just zoom in a little. So I think I am getting a little bit of like patchy areas right here. Maybe I put a little bit too much because I didn't get that before. And right there as well. Sometimes I have a problem no matter what foundation I'm wearing with my chin just getting these kind of like dry patchy parts and like separating. It hasn't happened in a while, but I feel like it might be that I didn't use primer, or I just went a little bit too heavy right there. So that's probably what's going on. Let's check the rest. The rest looks pretty good. I don't think I'm getting like super oily or anything like that. Let's look. So you can see kind of right here where it's a little bit separate. Well, not a little bit. It's separating right there. And I don't know why my chin gets like this sometimes, but the other times that I've worn it, it hasn't done this. You can see, you know, my pores a little bit of shine coming through, but not that bad. My nose is always the worst. Look at that. That looks so gross. I think I did put a little bit too much there because it didn't happen before, so this is kind of like a bad thing to see. But so you do see, I guess, that if you put too much on, it is going to look like this, because that didn't happen when I put less the other times that I've used this. And then my pores do look a little bit, not that exaggerated, but my pores are always kind of big anyways. Nothing really helps it. My nose is a little bit shiny, but not too much. And then just like around the forehead and everything, it still looks really good. Let's zoom out because this is uncomfortable. Okay, so yeah, so it still looks really good. It doesn't feel heavy yet or anything. I'm not looking super oily or greasy or anything like that. It's really nice. Like I said, around my chin, I am getting some separation. The first few times, because I've worn this like 3 or 4 times already. Those first like 3 or 4 times, I did not get that chin separation. So I think it's mainly because I put either too much foundation there, or there's too much like moisturizer in that area. So I try not to be too heavy with it there, but I think that's why that's happening. So yeah, but everything else looks really, really good. I just gotta remember to put less around here. So yeah. Hi guys, so now it is 4:20 in the afternoon, and after this I'm gonna take off my makeup. So I want to give like one final just like check in real quick and then just end it here, because I have been wearing it, let's see, 7:30 basically to 4:30. That's 9 hours. And as you can see, I haven't really touched it up at all. I kind of just go like this and blot my face with my hands, the back of my hands. But as you can see, I'm not really that oily, which is amazing, because usually I'm super oily. My chin's not that oily. I know it had that little problem right here, but I feel like I really did put maybe a little too much there. That's why it's coming out a little weird and separating in that area, just because I did want a little bit more coverage there. But as you can see, it looks really, really good. My nose is oily, but that's not anything super new. It's not as oily as it could be, that's for sure. But I think it looks really good. Obviously there's a little bit of wear and tear, but overall it looks pretty good. So yeah, this is my final check-in. I absolutely love it. I know, unfortunately, the one time I'm going to do a wear test and actually show you guys how it wore throughout the day, you know, the chin kind of acts up a little bit, but this happens with a lot of my foundations. If I don't do like the priming right or whatever, it just starts to separate, and I've had the problem with different foundations, but whenever I work it right, it works well. So yeah, this is it. I hope you guys liked it, or I hope you guys liked this review, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.